eBay's newest update is out right this minute here. There's some changes in there that most people need to be aware of. We are going to see if eBay has learned from prior updates or not. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to talk about eBay's new winter update. It's the update they just put out. It goes into effect in a couple of weeks from now. There are some increases. That's literally about the only thing that I can see in there overall that will affect most people. There's a few credits in there that are pretty much petty that won't affect the majority of every sale out there, but let's hop over and look at it right now. So we're in eBay. This is the latest announcement right now on the update. There's a few little simpleton things going on. They're advancing the unpaid item push they have where they're forcing everybody to put charge card numbers in and the whole works, even on best offer. Now, my personal opinion from the folks I've talked to, if you turn it off on certain categories, you'll get better sales. They do get paid. They just may take a little longer to get paid. Other categories, it cuts off all those lowball people that are going to come in with the offers because they know they're going to have to pay for it ahead of time. So it's a win and a lose depending on which area you are, but you can turn that option off. Now let's hop over to the most important thing, fees and financials. So in fees and financials, it again starts February 15th, basically 2 weeks from today. Now it's stating the maximum increase will be 0.35%, just over a third of one single percentage point. Now, it's not a ton of money, depending on how much you make. For us, that's almost $700 more a year that we will have to pay eBay in fees right off the bat. Now, that's fees as well that you're going to have to pay from shipping and the taxes also. So not only will we have to pay $700 more in fees just for the item, we'll also have to pay more in fees, again, because of the 35%, because of the shipping cost and the actual tax. So you pay your fees on that. So that's just the way the process works. It's not a huge amount. It's not going to make me leave eBay or anything else like that. Overall, it's fairly a drop in the bucket overall. If you're small, it might pinch in there a little bit as well, too. It's not huge, but it's enough. If you multiply 700, just the basics, for a store our size times the amount of people that have a bigger store, it's a lot of money eBay is going to be making just from a small percentage. We knew it was coming. I will say, though, it looks like eBay has learned from prior updates. Last fourth quarter, we didn't have a bunch of disruption like we have for the last 10 years before that. Every fourth quarter, eBay would instigate some drastic major change that would affect sellers. This year, nothing really. They waited till the beginning of the year now, and it's still nothing other than fees. There's no mixing up and changing of categories and new rollouts and all that kind of stuff that's really a hindrance to the business in fourth quarter and in first quarter. Fourth quarter, first quarter are usually pretty much similar in sales. We're doing pretty good right now, so I really can't complain on the sales overall. But if you go through here, you can see that it's pretty much 0.35%, just over a third of 1% to almost every category that I see across the board. There isn't much difference in some categories. As you can see, some higher end stuff, it's pretty much the same amount, 9%, 9%, 2.5%, 2.5%. The luxury watches, jewelry, and purses, they haven't touched at all. Those are categories for expensive $5,000 items that they've been pushing for quite some time. They're not touching the higher dollar stuff. They're only touching the stuff that affects the majority of people, it seems, on eBay. It is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day. You can look through here and look at the percentages yourself, but they're all about the same. Again, watches aren't going up at all. So there's no change. If you're a watch seller, it's 13% flat across the board. Again, it depends on which type of watches. So it just goes into some detail on there. I'm surprised they raised eBay Motors, but that is the case. In this case here, they actually lowered some in some categories. It went from 9.5 to 9.35. ATVs, they lowered them. Again, these are expensive items. It would have made more sense to actually list them for higher, get more money out of that, and let the smaller dollar $50, $100 items have a lower fee. That's, again, my personal opinion, but they're going in the opposite direction. It does, though, seem as if they learned, because they're not bombing us with anything other than the fees themselves as we roll through here. Now, they have expanded some fee credits, as they call it, a whopping 30 cents, which you'll get back, which was the processing fee. So if you just refund somebody for a request, you'll get 30 cents back from the processing fee. Now, if they return the item, you'll also get the 30 cents back. If it's returned through the process, handled on time, you do everything you're supposed to do, you'll get the return credit for that also. Again, it's a whopping 30 cents. Isn't much to concern yourself about. Most people wouldn't even notice it in their financials on eBay at all. Now, the other things they are changing are optional listing upgrades. I personally haven't paid for a listing upgrade in probably 10 years or better. I don't do bold. If Gallery Plus is charged, I'll never do it. I don't schedule in the first place. It's free now for those who are interested either way, though. I don't do any of that. Haven't for years. I just put it up and then I'm done with it. Buy it now used to be a charge. At one point, it was like 25 cents, depending on the value of the item. It's all free now. That's one that I might use at some point, but it's not going to make or break it if they have it or don't have it. For some folks, again, this might be great. Like the bold here, too, it's more expensive the more expensive the item is, which should be the way the fees are up top, but it's not. So they have dropped that down. They've dropped down the Gallery Plus. Most of my items that I use Gallery Plus are in collectibles and a few antique categories, so I don't pay for it either way you go. Stuff like fixed price bold, I don't do any of that stuff. I never waste my time. I don't do Gallery Plus out of the specific categories that they state. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it's a big ordeal either way you go. And again, I don't schedule anything at all. Most people are on the international shipping option that I personally know. We've been on it for a while. I personally haven't had any issues with it myself. I've heard lots of folks say that there's some issues with how it handles returns on it. I haven't seen a screenshot yet of that, but I have been told that that is an issue going forward with quite a few different people's accounts. I have it on my account. I haven't seen the issues arising yet. Maybe it's just decentralized to some folks. But other than that, that's really about the biggest things that there are in this entire update. It's just price increases and a few things that they dropped that most people don't use. Now let's address another change that I've been bombarded with questions on too, which are some of the regional boxes through the U.S. Postal Service have been eliminated. Now those are like priority boxes and things like that. And I've been asked, what do I do about that? What am I going to do about it? I don't use priority at all. Even if I do use priority, I don't care about the boxes. I don't order them. I don't worry about them. I know they're free. I almost never use priority at all in the first place. And when I do, I don't really care if it's their box. It's just something else I have to store around. So I don't order them. I don't mess with them either way. My buyers pay for the shipping. So whatever it costs, that's what they pay. I don't have to pay it, so it's not coming out of technically my end of the deal. I do try to do it as cheaply as possible. The discount we get from eBay, through the post office, through eBay, where we get it cheaper, I do not pass that along to my buyers, though. I keep that to cover part of the cost, such as the fees that we have to pay on shipping and taxes. Now, if those regional boxes were such a big difference in price for you, you may look into UPS at this point because some of their rates have dropped drastically. I just got a notice from them, from our account rep, that they've dropped them through eBay even themselves. In some cases, I have looked and the price has been about the same if you ship priority versus UPS. And there's drop-off places pretty much anywhere around here. There are even some drop-off places inside of department stores and things like that. 5 minutes away, I could drop off UPS. They pick up at your location if you've got an account as well. Even if you purchase through eBay, as long as you have an account and you are using their service, you can still get pickup scheduled for free, depending on how it's set up with your account. So again, I don't worry about any of the regional boxes. I don't worry about when the post office changes any of their personally branded shipping items because on a whole, I almost never ever use them. I don't even know when the last time I used a priority envelope, bag, packet, or anything because it's been so long. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Some people will do anything to take their favorite video games everywhere they go. But now Tiger gives you all the fun and excitement of your favorite arcade game in the palm of your hand. Games like Double Dragon, jump, kick, and fight your way through 4 missions to defeat the big boss and save Marion to win. Also coming soon from Tiger, Karnoff, Gauntlet, Jordan Bird, Simon's Quest, and more.
Each sold separately. Batteries not included. It's a grand toy.